Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Welcome back to Listen Up, and the UConn Huskies play yet another game on Saturday at 2 p.m., this time returning to Gampel Pavilion to take on the DePaul Blue Demons. Let's get straight on down into the last check-in. DePaul, they've had a kind of rough start to the Big East play, kind of surprised by that. They lost four straight games before finally beating Xavier the other night, who they previously beat earlier in the season. DePaul, they're really not a bad team, so I'm surprised, like I said, to really see them struggling in Big East play. They have four players that average double-digit points per game, including standout senior guard Anaya Peoples, who leads the team in every stat except for steals. Peoples came over from Notre Dame two seasons ago, and this is a team with a lot of new faces. Guards Kate Clark and Michelle Sador came over from Michigan this year. Graduate guard Caitlin Gilbert previously played for Notre Dame and Missouri, and and 6'3" forward Bryn Masikwich, which she came over from UCLA. So on paper, this team looks kind of stacked, but they just can't seem to string wins together, especially against the tougher opponents. They average about 75 points per game, so maybe this game is similar to the Seton Hall game where DePaul, maybe they can keep it close against UConn, but I think the difference is, and it's quite a big difference, the Huskies return home to Gampel Pavilion, where they haven't had a bad game, no matter if it's in Hartford, if it's in Stores. They have not played a bad game at home yet so far this season. So hopefully for UConn's sake, they can keep it rolling. I'd like to see Ashlyn, get the ball rolling again. Had a tough shooting night the other night, but hopefully she can get some more points in this game, and hopefully Paige Bueckers, I don't know if she'll score 30 again, but hopefully she can keep up her hot streak as well.
Yeah, very well said. A lot of great comments, Ryan. I was kind of like cheating, like almost like reading comments before you were done your preview. Although I was listening, some of these kind of make me tear up, but I'll hold it together, right? I'll hold it together for this last check-in. I appreciate you joining me this late at night. Yeah, I was kind of I'm glad you mentioned it. Like you mentioned about Anaya Peoples leading in all the categories except for what one you said.
Yeah, yeah, except for
Yeah,
steals, yeah.
yeah, and I think that's very interesting to say the least. Usually don't see that out of a team on the stat sheet, rather under stats that we look under each category before these last check-ins. Um, Another thing is, I don't think I couldn't find one junior on this roster either. So just another interesting stat to throw out there. But yeah, I think that I like the fact that you brought up how many points they're averaging per game. It's kind of high, in my opinion. Maybe not a very good basketball team, but again, we don't, especially the Big East, when you have to play them two times a season. We don't underestimate anybody on this podcast, period. Because especially last year, as we were going over the UConn women's basketball team, we witnessed some upsets, Ryan, that I don't think a lot of people have witnessed in 15, 20, 30 years, I think. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. I can't wait to get your uh, predictions at the end. Let's go right over to comments. I got, like I said, a lot of good ones. We need to save some time for them rather than us talking more on this last check-in. Adam Edmonds, Ryan goes, this comment is not about the game, but I wanted to convey my appreciation to you guys for your steady and consistent content. I always look forward to your videos and being a part of this UConn community. And to the other subscribers out there, I appreciate how active you are in the comments and sharing your opinions, views, and concerns. In the famous word of Jason D'Amico, peace. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of things to take away from that, man. And we're not going to sit up here, even though I bring it up. There's a lot of late nights, where Ryan and I are getting up early as what, Ryan? Early as crap, I'll say, right? The next morning. But We do it because we love you guys, and you've brought us to this point, Ryan. We never would have thought, right? You say it all the time, but to say the least, Ryan, yeah, it's now all of a sudden Jason D'Amico, is a star of Listen Up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. I'm still in kind of disbelief of how quickly we've kind of grown over the years, but yeah, definitely for sure try to keep it pretty consistent. Hopefully we can keep on evolving and upgrading the
Growing,
podcast
yeah,
for
yeah.
future years to come.
Mhm.
But yeah, super grateful for all of you guys, of course, and kind of the community we've built. I think it's kind of a fun vibe for everybody. Really appreciate everybody, of course, liking and subscribing. But like we always say, our favorite part is kind of, and I think it kind of makes us unique, is how often or every single video, reading the comments and kind of
Mhm.
getting everybody's opinion or a lot of people's opinion and seeing what everybody thinks. So I think it's kind of cool, the community we built, and of course, that's all thanks to you guys.
And there's a lot of people I want to thank. We're not go over it now, but a lot of YouTubers rather that I've reached out to that, and a lot of people with their own podcasts before, prior to starting, and shout out to them. I didn't forget them people. If you thought I did, Ryan, I did not. So I mean, just email every now and then, shouting out to them and thanking them and seeing how they're doing as well. How about another one, Ryan? Lindsay Matthews. Thank you, Ryan and Phil, for sharing your reflections on our beloved team. Please don't go and be commentators for ESPN or SNY.
Well, I don't know if that'll happen anytime soon, but I guess you never know. But yeah, I mean we've been talking about doing the live stream for the South Carolina game, I believe.
Yes,
So if we do
yes.
that, we kind of will, I guess, have to commentate back and forth. So that could kind of be fun. But I don't think we'll be going to ESPN or SNY anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up. Again, guys, we want to remind you to tune in. Hopefully, we'll have the game recap like always, last check in. But Ryan and I actually want to, first time ever, so bear with us, a live stream for that South Carolina game. So that would be literally, Ryan and I sitting in front. We will be watching the game. You won't hear the audio, you will not see it, but you will see Ryan and I. And again, we want to announce it very early. This is only Ryan mid-January. We want to make sure that everyone comes through and comments away, so we have discussion talking about the game, right, Ryan, while it's going on and getting our reactions. I think it's going to be fun, something different. So again, and we promise, we keep saying it, Ryan, but we are working with Alston and everyone to upgrade this podcast. Each year do something different.
Yeah.
Again, your hard work has not gone unnoticed. The subscribers, the likes, we really appreciate it. How about one more? Oh, wow. Oh, my, Ryan. This person goes, South Carolina fan here. We will demolish UConn when we play them. Gino's time at the top is over. He needs to retire. He'll never get back at the top. Oh my. I had to bring in like that Joker comment. If you, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Do not take any offense to that. But no, I had to have like that Joker comment thrown at you tonight, Ryan.
Well, of course, we always respect everybody's opinion for sure. We usually don't have, of course, a comment, I guess, from another fan base, another person from who likes another team. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I can't say they're wrong about Gino not being at the top for the past 5 seasons or so, or however many years UConn's kind of been on this title drought, but and South Carolina has had UConn's number for the past couple years, ever since it seems like that national championship game. Past couple years they played in the regular season, and UConn has not been able to beat them. Maybe February 11th will be a different story. Definitely, I think it should be a good game. But I think it could kind of go either way. If UConn keeps up their momentum and is able to somehow win out every single game up to that game, I think it could get pretty interesting. So, like we said, we hope to live stream during that game. So it definitely should be fun all the way around.
One more, and I'm sure you know who this is from. Can't leave his name out, Ryan. Jason D'Amico. I am stating the obvious. This game was a lot closer than the score reveals. However, I don't think we should look into it too much because, like Phil and Rye stated, Seton Hall never hits that many threes against opponents. This was definitely a one-off for them. Paige basically showed why she is the most feared player in the country. No one wants to play against her. No one. Good recap, fellas. Peace. And I think, Ryan, very quickly, if that light goes off for Paige, especially when it matters the most. We talk about March all the time. I think, paired with that defense that UConn has, no matter if it's Caitlin Clark they're up against or whoever, I think if they play to their full potential, whoa, watch out.
Yeah, and I think, you're gonna have some of those games where the opponent, hits a bunch of threes or is really hot from the field. They start out really hot. But I think most of the time UConn does a pretty good job just kind of riding the ship and continuing to play their game. They definitely didn't get tired. They didn't run out of energy. While on the other side, the other team, who did they play the other night? What team was that?
Oh my, you mean before Seton Hall?
Yeah, Seton Hall. Yeah, that's the one. Seton Hall kind
Okay.
of ran out of gas, and then we saw UConn kind of take over in the second quarter and the fourth quarter. So, like we said, hopefully UConn can kind of keep that up for the
Yeah.
whole entire season, especially down into March Madness. But you're gonna have some of those games where the opponent starts out really hot. But like I said, I think UConn does a good job riding the ship, staying the course, and eventually coming out on top.
All right. Hopefully no overtime because I'll tell you why right after our prediction. Saturday, January 20th, 2 o'clock. Who are you taking? I have UConn, Ryan. Let's go 85 this time. 85. Let's go 85 to 64. 85-64, UConn over DePaul.
Yeah, I think DePaul definitely has the chance, like I said against Seton Hall. Seton Hall had the chance to keep it close. They kind of did for a while. I think it's the same case with DePaul. I think they have a really good chance that they could also come out really hot shooting the ball. Like I said, they score a good amount of points per game. Pretty good rebounding team on paper as well. Whether they're going to show up in Gampel Pavilion and do it is another story. I'm going to go 76 to 61 in favor of UConn.
All right, UConn it is, Ryan. Number 9, UConn. And we can't wait to be right back here with you guys for the recap. Saturday, Ryan, hopefully right around 4 o'clock, because, I hate to bring this up on a basketball podcast, but I have to tell you the truth, Ryan. We have to speed up and get that recap out of the way because, Ryan, you're still living in a football town, a football state, a football city. It's the Texans and the Ravens also on Saturday, Ryan. So sleep good. And Ryan, get that notepad out for DePaul in town. Phil and Ryan, listen up.